Hi everybody, I'm Leathur Rokk. Welcome to my channel. We're in my kitchen again because my mom is hungry. Let's buy on. This is about the only time I could go into her room because we have a real problem with our electrical stuff. And let's see here. Here she is!
No way.
You see how this is the only time of day that we could see Mom, because you could see we actually have some sunlight out. Tell my audience how hungry you are.
I want breakfast.
Well, you're gonna get lunch, kind of. Okay, about maybe a half hour or less. You know, we don't starve mothers. It's not a nice thing to do. All right, I'm gonna get out of here because she was watching The View this morning. You know, the Democrat thing. But you know what? I can love you if you're a Democrat. You know, it shouldn't matter, right? Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put some oil in this frying pan. And I'm going to, it's cast iron. Some days the right hand's easier, some days the left hand's easier. Could do this one-handed. Oh wow, both hands are good. All right. Now, this is the second time I tried pouring a cup of coffee, and I set it down, and I forgot about it, and then it got cold, and I had to reheat it again. It's a good thing I didn't sweeten it yet, because you can't reheat sweetened coffee that way. Okay. What I got is ground beef, as you can see, but you know what? I better wash my hands first. Now, I wasn't planning on doing this today. Actually, I was going to do a standalone video, which I may or may not do. But when she reminded me that she was hungry, I said, you know what, I gotta do this. Oh, alright. Well, first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to get some of this ground beef. I'm going to put it on this plate. It'll make seasoning it easier. And I'm going to make 2 burgers, one for her and one for me. So, and we still have, oh! I didn't just do that. Well, guess what? I didn't spill the meat. Yay, yay, yay. This is going to have to be washed. Oh boy. Let's see, where am I gonna? Yeah, because I'm gonna need something to keep that in the fridge. Okay. Put this on here. Let's see if there's any more meat I should put in here. One of the things I like to do with my ground beef, I like to add different kind of seasonings to it and stuff. Okay, this goes back in the fridge. Now I gotta wash my hands. Okay. Now, first thing I'm going to do is dry my hands off on something. Because you know the packaging that the herbs and spices come in. Once you touch that, you can't touch the ground beef again. So, okay, first spice I'm going to add is ground coriander. I like to just shake all over the meat. And let's see. Oh, this is garlic pepper seasoning, but very little of that, and I don't want to use that up. This is multi-purpose Italian seasoning. This has oregano and basil and marjoram and sage and a bunch of things like that. Now, I need to go to the 99-cent store that unfortunately is about 4 or 5 miles uptown, because I need to get a bunch of cooking spices for my friend in Washington, D.C., because he needs certain things for some of the dishes that I like to cook. It's so much less expensive here, so I'm going to make up a goodie box for my friend. Black pepper. Usually I do spice mixes that don't have salt in them. That way, depending on if a person's on a low sodium diet, they can adjust things. But if we had more Worcestershire sauce, that's something I really love to use to finish things off. This is onion powder. I should be careful how I'm shaking this stuff up because I'm going to get things in my coffee. I don't think I want coffee to have those things. Bridget Deers, hi. Can I speak German? No, the only thing German I know is Sprechen Sie Deutsch, and I believe that is, do you speak German? I have a little bit of German in my ancestry, and I found some kind of coin that says Deutschland on it. So whenever I find coins not from my country, I always save them. Just like I'm a stamp collector also. People who collect coins, that's called numismatics. And stamp collecting, of course, is philately. Oh, do I want to add some salt? This is my salt source. I'm going to mix these. I probably should have used a bigger plate, huh? Well, yes, I should have used a bigger plate. I hope I don't spill this, because if I do, the mice are going to have quite a treat. Patty here. Make a patty here. Let me. There. Do you see that easier? These will be nice and big. I believe this is 80-20 ground beef, meaning it's, they call it 80% lean. You always want to have some fat to have flavor. But the higher the fat concentration, then the more shrinkage you're going to have as you cook the meat. It'll, the fat will melt and the meat will appear to be smaller. That's why they always talk about pre-cooking weight. Wow. I'm not always a good judge of how big something is. I guess I'm going to cut each of these things in half. fire on here. Now I'm going to wash my hands again, and I'm going to wash this plate. And let me get the, I have some antibacterial dish soap. You know, you got to be real careful whenever you're dealing with raw meat. I don't use my usual scrubby things that I usually use to wash things. Whenever I'm dealing with raw meat, I go ahead and I use a paper towel so that I don't cross-contaminate. Alrighty, well, this is washed, this is dripping dry. Now I'm going to take this to my mom's room, where when I wash clothes, or when I wash dishes, I let them drip dry in her room. Okay, this is looking good. Now, I'm going to have to find out what coffee tastes like that has a little bit of Italian seasoning put in it, because some flew into there. But I need to get sugar for my coffee. So, you know what? I'm gonna take this with me. Let me turn this down a little bit so it doesn't burn when I'm walking out of the kitchen. Here. I'm gonna piss my mom off. Follow me. Hi. I just want to let you know that I divided the ground beef that I put in there into two really bigger burgers than I realized. So you're going to eat a lot. Well, sort of, kind of. Think about what kind of bread you would like. And
That
usual kind. You're not healthy.
With all the seeds and stuff in it.
All the seeds.
Yeah, and I got ketchup packets.
Oh, and you got ketchup, of course. She's
wait.
like with her eggs. She likes
Is there any
eggs with her ketchup.
onion?
I can do onion, yes. You want me to slice raw or fried?
I like raw.
Okay, she wants raw onion. So, but you see how this is the lightest you get in here, because these lights, and we've told the people we pay the rent to that we need these things replaced. And you know, like I'll show you some more lights that aren't doing too good. This is the room that my mom does her physical therapy in and stuff. And this light here, 2 days ago, I tried messing with the lights. You see, you got one little light on. Okay, you want to look out the window? Let's look out the window. Let's see. Hello. There were so many cats making meows last night. I set some food out. Okay, enough of this. I have to be real careful about this thing because, you know, I could fall out and it would be a real headache. Oh, this is my latest piece of luggage. Somebody dropped this off. One of the places where people drop off things that they don't want. I drop off things we don't want. I find things that people give away. And I already washed the outside of that suitcase. I'm going to put some more of my clothes into Thikimoto. Hey. Oh. Are you hungry? If I ever see you, Thicky, I'm cooking for you. I'm going to come with groceries. I'm going to make sure you say you like shrimp. Well, there will be shrimp. And anything else we all like, right? There will be shrimp. There will be weed. You know, oh, by the way, I smoked the last of my weed in the wee hours. I have no weed. Oh, I want you to see something. I have a new lighting setup. This has a clamp thing here you put phone on, and this plugs in here, and normally that's the light that the outlet that I attach this to and this to, but this thing here, let me see. I'll try not to blind you guys out. See? Anyway, I'm gonna go back into the kitchen because that's where the food is. And I hope some of my friends show up. That would be really nice if they do. I can feed them. Oh, and I really need sugar. I have almost nothing for my coffee, and that really sucks. Oh, this is smelling really good. And of course, I'm wearing no protection for getting spit on. Splash. I'm going to turn this fire down. I never thought that I would be cooking on camera. I was always afraid of working around food and stuff because, you know, you eat, what happens, right? But, oh, I do want to show off something. I have a viewer who loves belly piercings and stuff, and I was just sent this a couple of days ago. My friend Cece sent me a goodie package that included some other equipment that I have to, that I think I need to wait until I get my computer out of the shop, because I got some things that I believe can only be attached to a computer. But one of the things that she sent me is this belly ring that I'm wearing, and I want to make sure that I can show this. There's a certain person who really loves, and you see this is a 4-leaf clover. It's got the green stones in it and all that, and hey, they mean good luck, right? I could sure use some good luck. It would have really come in handy when I bought those Powerball tickets, mind you. I'm just trying to make sure I could see what you guys said. I wish I had some weed. I really wish I had some weed. But talk about good luck. Last night, I went to this drop-off spot where people drop off things, where the chicken lady used to drop off things, and somebody dropped off so much meat yesterday. That's how I was able to make the steaks yesterday. there are these packages, all this raw meat, and I didn't want to be greedy, so I got what I made up last night, because I thought that this was what I was going to make for dinner, or whatever, because my mom, she craves different things, and I just usually ask her what she feels like eating. And maybe she'll want something that I don't like, in which case I just make her something and I eat whatever. But if she likes something, wants something that we like, then I just make that. Okay, now she says she wants bread. This, let me see, what kind of bread. Oh, this is probably what she wanted. And now, let's not tell her that the mice got into this egg, but that means only these 2 slices of Derby. There's nothing wrong with these, so don't tell her. Matter of fact, that piece that a mouse started to eat, I'm going to set that aside for the little bastard, because they're creatures. They feel pain just like we do. They're hungry just like we do, and if you view them as pests and you don't want to share your home and your stuff with them, I understand that, but you don't need to be cruel to them. I mean, have you ever looked at a mouse up close? Do you see how adorable they are? They're just absolutely precious. I think they are. You ever looked at their paws? They don't have paws, they have hands. They have little hands and feet. I like the mice. I don't like having to rewash clothes when I see those little black rice, that of course is not rice, but nice big plate. The only thing I don't like it when the meat starts to fall apart. I never went to cooking school or anything. That was not one of my goals. I never wanted to work around food. But if you're going to eat, you have to cook, right? Plus, if you have cooking skills, you are more valuable in communes and roommate situations. You're probably more desirable as a partner. If people are looking for love and marriage and stuff, who doesn't want a spouse or a partner who knows how to cook, right? So being able to cook is definitely useful. It can be the difference between somebody taking you in as a roommate. It can make the difference between somebody thinking of you as marriage material. It can make a difference between people who are looking to meet people who might be nurturing and might have maternal instincts or might be more willing to be caregivers or whatever. It's a good skill to have. And friends tend to like to get homemade meals. I still get people ringing my doorbell that don't realize that the churches are gone and they're hungry, and people asking for food at all hours. And the thing is, today's a Friday. A lot of the places that serve meals, the only place that serves meals that I know of, I heard the Atlantic City Rescue Mission does, and that, of course, is a shelter. And I have never been there. And I've never gone there even to eat. Because they serve the women an hour before. And I would, if I was to go to a place like that, I would probably go with whichever friends I was hanging around with. And since I usually hang out in mixed company, Okay, I am going to take the fire off and just let the heat from the skillet take the rest of this. Oh, my mom said she wants raw onion too. I forgot about that. I'm going to start this. Gee, lucky me. Mom wants raw onions, she's gonna get raw onions. Yeah, if I get back to traveling, it's gonna make it easier to see people, you know. But, she didn't say how much she wanted. Do you hear the ducks outside? They are quacking. Ducks are quacking outside. Okay, she's got sliced onion, which by the way is very good for us. I'm going to give her 2 open face things. I like to eat mine open face. That way I cut my carbs in half. Because you guys didn't know I've been on a diet. I know for a fact, well, I don't know for a fact because I'm afraid of scales. I put on like 20 pounds last year and I am not putting the junk in my body anymore. What the duck is going out there? Quack, quack, quack. They're doing the quacks. Okay. Excuse me. Oh, now I see something that's sticking out of the bottom of my cell phone. Maybe you guys can.
I'm gonna need some water.
I was going to feed you, and
Well,
you're going.
right at this moment, it's kind of important.
Oh. 1666 is here. Thikamoto's here. And, yeah.
Very well, if I'm headed for here.
He's going to the bathroom. Okay, I'm going to show you guys in the mirror something that's sticking out of my cell phone. Maybe you guys know what the hell it is. Do you see right here? There is something sticking out of this thing. I don't know what it is. I'm pushing it in, and it feels like, you know that when you're playing pinball, you pull this thing with the spring, and it shoots the ball up? Well, that's what this thing is like, and it's right on the bottom. Now I pushed it in. I don't know what that is. It's a stylus? I didn't know that. Oh. Because I'm telling you, I don't have fat fingers, but you know, it's so hard to not get typos when you're... Oh my goodness. Okay, well now I pushed it in so far, now it won't come out again. Whoops. See, I don't know what the hell I'm doing, but I really think I want the new iPhone. And if there's any chance that I can acquire this, and the thing is, okay, they have different storage capacities. I would want the biggest storage capacity if it's at all possible. Oh, well, this is Temu. This is absolutely where I got this from. And now this cell phone that I am filming off of is the one that I bought that I can only live stream from it because it claims to be filled up, even though it's supposed to have 256 gigabytes. And it's filled up at 35 gigabytes. Come on. That doesn't make any sense. But I went ahead and I bought another cell phone that holds 512 gigabytes. But I didn't know what that was, and I didn't notice if there was another one. And I was wondering why it said that it was supposed to come with a stylus, and I didn't see one in the thing. it came with this tiny little instruction thing, which was mostly in every other language except for the little bit that was in English. So, but yeah. Oh, now that my mom left her room, now I could fix her bedding.
Happy 70th anniversary.
She likes to watch the Democrat news network stuff. Oh, and I try not to fall down here. Got to pull this down. And not fall and break my neck or anything. Oh boy. Alrighty. Now I'm just waiting for people to say what a mess this place is. Because, like, a very nice lady named Kiki, who was in my chat room last night, said, when you're a caregiver, you're working pretty much 24/7. I'm getting very little sleep, except for sometimes I find myself falling asleep when I'm watching TV during the daytime, and I will fall asleep fully dressed, all my makeup, thinking I'm going to live later or I'm going to do a video later. And all of a sudden, I wake up, and then it's 4 o'clock in the morning, and I'm like, oh my God. But she's not here, and this is her food, and I'm going to have to wait until she comes out. But you know what? Right now, I'm gonna go look outside. Here, follow me. Now, I'm gonna have to be really careful because I'm only wearing sunblock on my face, and I don't have any on my arms and my stomach and everything. I'm gonna look out the window, see if there's any out here. Oh, the doorbell rang about 3 hours ago, and I didn't see anybody, and I always look out my window and I bang on glass so that people can step back so I can see them out my window. Didn't see anybody. Then I decided to open the door, and here somebody had left a package right here. Anybody could have walked away with it. It could have gone away. Snipe hunting time. Oh man. Sometimes people drop roaches on the ground and stuff. And yeah, but ever since the police started putting all these cameras around, you don't have all the drug dealers standing around, all the gangs that sometimes had really good weed, you know, and they used to all line up across the street and stuff. And there were some really rough people around here. I mean, bad people. I used to sneak out the other way and put my hair in a big hat or like a bonnet or something, and then when I was closer to the boardwalk, then I would free my hair and stuff, all because I was really scared about being, because I kind of stand out, as you can imagine, and the more people find out that I have this YouTube channel, the more I feel that I'm absolutely in danger, because then people are monitoring what you say, and they say, oh, you said something about something, and that's not cool, or the people who hate Trump, of course, and the people who don't approve of Charlie Kirk, and there's some people that can say some pretty vile things. Let's see if we can find kitties anywhere. Great. Well, I can't take the recycling out because there's people in this gate. This is usually where I use their dumpster. They have a special dumpster just for recycling, and then of course they have one for trash. Well, we got plenty of trash cans here, so I don't need to take out the trash there, but I do take the recycling there because we've had recycling buckets a couple of times and they've all gotten taken away. So, man, wish some of my local friends was watching my channel right now and knew that I was out of weed, and they could come over here and they could smoke me out, and I could feed them, and that would be really wonderful. But okay, now we're coming back to my home. Oh, snipe hunting refers to roaches too. I thought that was just referring to tobacco. Yeah, you have taught me something. Oh, okay, she's not here. All right, it's time for me to feed my maternal unit. Ooh, this is the food. The AC live stream camera is kind of close to resorts because the view they always show is like, I guess, 2 blocks before you get to resorts, but you're talking about the one, does it show a little bit of the wheel and some things, but it's so high up that you can't really pick out people's faces or anything. Look what I got.
Remember, I told you I needed water.
Okay, well, you'll get water. Here, take this.
Wait just one moment, please.
See? Never easy.
No, nothing's easy. I got my salt for
Okay.
is finally about to reopen. We have a preview, and we'll tell you who will cross it first. Also, a deal to prevent toothpaste from making way into the United States can be finalized today, because Leathur will have to agree to make that happen.
Okay.
And in the dish, to take you to Steven Starr's latest restaurant on Rittenhouse Square, Alicia Vittorelli samples some of the amazing Italian dishes on that menu.
The Martin Luther King Drive Bridge finally being reopened. Now, that bridge was a popular route through Fairmount Park onto the Art Museum area. But drivers, runners, and bicyclists have been...
Here's the water. I always take the tap water and I put it in bottles.
Because of ongoing construction. As Action News reporter Corey Davis explains, pedestrians will get the chance to enjoy the bridge first.
Now crews are making the finishing touches on the OK Drive Bridge.
Oh yeah, I'm only gonna get caught in the phone cords and yeah, it's near the Hard Rock. Okay, this is. You like your num num?
I haven't had a chance.
Oh, whatever. Okay, fine, whatever. God, she's such a grouch. Grouch, 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 grouch. Grouch, 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 grouch. Okay, I'm gonna back on my holder thing. Whoops. See, if they had a camera that was closer to, Tropicana. Now, tomorrow's Saturday. Tomorrow I'm going to the park, which is where sometimes, I make those videos, thrift store, fashion show kind of thing. I need to get some certain things that my mom needs, some ladies' hygiene things that she needs. I need to go over there, and I need to go to that Red Door place, and then I need to get somebody to watch my laundry cart, because you know how you don't want to bring big luggage things into stores and stuff. I really need to pick up some spices for my friends in Washington, D.C. Oh, I know what else I need right now. Okay. This bread, this is what I'm going to use for myself. I don't like squishy breads. I like really crusty, textured breads. And this says garlic ciabatta. I would rather say ciabatta, but they say ciabatta. Next to the Central Pier building. Well, that's where Central Pier is, where that dollar store is, and that's where my sunscreen came from. Now this is going to be what I'm going to have my bread on. I'm just going to go ahead and cut it this way. You know what? Here, let me turn this so you can better see what I'm doing. There. Possibly. The thing is, since my mother has, when the cops kicked me off the boardwalk, my playing spot was closer to Tropicana, even though I've been as far uptown as the Ocean Casino Resort. And it's really windy up there, and you don't get as much foot traffic, even though supposedly people are more likely to have more money. But right now, there is money to be made on the boardwalk. There are panhandlers, there are homeless people, beggars, and there are some people that have paid the expensive fees to get the special player's permit. You got to have a background check, you got to be fingerprinted, you got to get a special insurance indemnifying City of Atlantic City. Doesn't give us any protection, of course. Nothing protecting a woman who's alone, who might have somebody try to take her bag or whatever. You know, nothing in these permits do anything to help anybody except the city itself. AC Boardwalk Live. Oh, okay. But I noticed the webcam quality isn't very good. It's like, why can't they use an old cell phone instead of just what is almost essentially a laptop webcam? I have to admit that these cameras, even on a Temu cell phone, what I'm using right now, are vastly better than the cameras on laptops. And why they don't have better cameras on laptops, that would be wonderful. That said, the laptop that I bought that is being replaced, I paid $300 for, which you probably think is rock bottom. But that was the price I had in my head. I know what my budget is. I can't keep on affording to replace equipment just to keep this channel running. So if I can get the equipment cheaper through other means, I'm going to do it. And I really appreciate those of you who have proven that you believe in me. First of all, every word of support, I really appreciate this. Every kind thing that is said that helps to make up for the people that are the haters that say some really despicable things, some of which never get to see the light of day because they're so bad that I don't post them. Sometimes I post things just so that people see what douchebaggery really exists, you know. You know what? I'm going to blot my lipstick a little bit. Yeah, I hardly go up that far. Whoops. Usually when I go in the boardwalk, I go to the Tropicana because it's kind of, I kind of know what I'm getting myself in for, you know, even though it's not always friendly. Okay. This is mine. Let's go slip in on Mom again. Piss her off again, because I'm terrible like that. I'm a bad daughter, don't forget this. How is it? Is it good?
Yes, thank you very much.
You like it?
Yes, that's better. Please stop now.
Okay.
It's not an attractive picture. It's not attractive.
Oh, like I'm not, like I look attractive when I eat. Okay, she's mad at me. Alright. I'm going to, was this, did a mouse nibble on this? Does this look like somebody bit on this, you guys? Or do you think it just came off when I was frying? I'm hoping that I have some really exciting things coming up. Big mouse, yeah. I mean, why are mice so cute? I know that's an answer. That's a question nobody can answer. But most people are just so focused on hating them and focusing on the uncleanness. It's not really their fault. You know, if you're made naturally incontinent, I mean, while yes, there is a sanitation issue, you know, they can't help that, you know? Do they realize that you're walking around freely evacuating and all that stuff? Oh, yeah, my mom, she gets kind of grouchy sometimes, you know. So, hey, this is not Ozzy and Harriet, you know? Cheers. I forgot my coffee. And this is all I have as far as sweeteners and sugars and stuff. Supposedly, my friend Ozzy, you guys, mice plagues on farms? Oh, you know, I'd probably starve to death if I lived on a farm. Because I would be seeing these cows and these chickens and these pigs, and I'd be petting them and I'd be looking into their eyes, and next thing you know, I wouldn't be eating that bacon. I wouldn't be eating those burgers. One of my friends in Hollywood had a red bantam rooster. Grouchy bird. Oh, God. Woke everybody up at 5 o'clock in the morning with his cock-a-doodle-doo. And, of course, we weren't sleeping too much because we were sniffing a lot of amphetamines back in the day, you know. And I was the only person that was charmed by this bird. The neighbors really didn't like it. And the thing is, they lived in a neighborhood that had a lot of Spanish people, that things like cockfighting were not entirely unheard of. And some people, I guess, had animals to lay eggs, you know, chickens laying eggs for breakfast and stuff. But, this bird, you know, I couldn't eat chicken when I lived there. I just couldn't. So, you know, I guess I kind of understand why people like to go to, why people become vegetarian. Okay, I'm struggling to put this on that mount. Okay, now I'm in my official set. But I forgot my coffee again. Oh my goodness, hold on. Alright, I am looking for my coffee cup. You know, this is ridiculous. I poured myself a cup. I had to reheat it because I'd set it aside and forgot to sweeten it. I set it someplace in this house and I can't find it. This is crazy. Alright, you guys, I did it again. I do this. I pour myself a cup of coffee. I set it down someplace. This was in the front room. Now, I have to reheat this. Oh, wait. I gotta get the strainer because this is cowboy coffee. You know, I keep the grounds down here and let it soak instead of putting it through the thing. So now I gotta get the strainer. There we go again. Oh, this is half decaf and half Colombian. Huh. Okay, putting this back. All right, now, let's see, how do I get this sweetened up? But yeah, my friend Ozzy, who has been in several of my live streams, he's the one that was joking about when I was feeding the cat the other night, and he said he ate the cat, which normally I don't find such humor funny at all. But the man is totally harmless. He's a nice guy. He just likes to talk a little mischief sometimes. And the thing is, he says he doesn't like cats, but the cats like him. And normally, I don't like the idea that people don't like cats, but there is not being a fan of, which is not necessarily the same as the people that actually want to hurt them. And he's not a bad person. He doesn't try hurting them. Why? But I still don't understand why anybody would not like cats. I also like to take one tea bag and I put it in a coffee pot, and I can make a 12 cup or even bigger pot of tea just out of 1 cup, 1 tea bag. So you get a box of 100 tea bags. Think of that. That's like a third, almost a third of a year worth of pots of coffee, or tea rather. 1666, you took something down, you retracted a message, and you said you don't like horses. I would like to go horseback riding. I think I may have been on a pony once when I was like 3 or 4. My Trump cup is put away. Oh yeah, but getting back to my friend Ozzy, he told me that somebody gave him a 5-pound bag of sugar last week, and he thought it was an odd gift to get, and he doesn't use very much sugar, and when he drinks coffee, I don't think he puts anything in it. And he said he thought of me, and he said he was going to give it to me, and if he by any chance was watching this, Ozzy, I can really use that sugar. I shouldn't be saying this, but I had to go someplace that had sweeteners out, and I had to put on a disguise, and I had to go and help myself to them, okay? And in order to do this, I actually didn't have any makeup on, just had sunblock on. I put my hair in one of those bonnets, those silk bonnets that's supposed to protect your braids from getting all frizzy and stuff. And so the bonnet covered my eyes from like here on up. I had no makeup on at all. I wore one of those Indian outfits, those tunics over baggy pants. and just to be totally unrecognizable, because the last thing I would want is for one of my friends to recognize me, and then of course to be seen without makeup and all that stuff. But I went and I grabbed a handful of sweeteners, right? And I had to wait. I had to actually look in the window of a store nearby to use it as a mirror to see when the cashier guy, went back toward that way. So his back was turned. I had to run, grab a handful of sweeteners, and then all of a sudden the security guard from the casino showed up, and I didn't have time to put what was in my hand in my purse. And it's a good thing I didn't have more than, I think I only had like 11 or 12 sweet and lows. Not very much at all. And I said good morning, and I got the hell onto the boardwalk exit as fast as I could, and I went home after that, But I'm thinking, I haven't gone in there and done something like that in about good 3 months, okay? That's only something to do. It's absolute last resort. But if people could show up with some sugar, that would be really great. And a lot of times people do that. People will they'll get sweeteners or sugars from Wawa or 7-Eleven or something. Or they'll give me honeys. I went through 3 bottles of honey. And honey, of course, is supposed to be good for you. It's supposed to have natural antibiotic benefits and stuff. I really love this belly ring. Thank you, Cece. Cece gave me this, and she gave me a studio microphone. The only thing is it has a cord and a fitting that I have never saw. And the thing is, I was raised not to be a thief, and I really am an honorable person, even though I believe there is a thing called nuance. Like, say you have an enemy and they stole thousands of dollars off of you or something. I think, and they refuse to pay you back. I think it is perfectly okay to get your revenge in kind, because you have to make up for something, and you get it even if you get it in dribs and drabs. Even if, say, it was a co-worker and they had a giant brandy snifter that they kept stocked with potato chips. And you know how everybody hangs around the cubicle, take a chip or take a pretzel or whatever. You get things in kind. Now, you said, did I dress up like this? And you're giving an arrow. I don't know if I'm guessing I'm not supposed to click that, but I very rarely, if I'm going incognito, what I will do is I will look like myself, but I will just put my hair up in something really big to disguise it, because there are times when I find myself in a very gang-infested, very dangerous area, and there have been times when I will go ahead and wear, I didn't see any emoji, I saw an arrow and something that looks like an hourglass. But especially in light of what happened to Charlie Kirk, I think we all have to take our security seriously. And I do know at least one person who, I don't know if he has a carry permit, but he certainly has what carrying refers to, and I think you know what I'm saying here. And this guy has 2 different calibers of what I'm talking about here. And the problem is he goes to anger management classes sometimes, which I think would preclude you from carrying such devices. And he has a drinking problem. And okay. Well, that's because this is a Temu cell phone that I paid $58.11 for, okay? Or maybe a little bit less than that. And the other one that has double the storage capacity, I paid less than $10 more. So, hold that thought. This is the other one that came in the mail a couple days ago. And this one I got the gold color as opposed to the black one that was supposed to be purple, by the way, but whatever. But I'm going to use them both, but I still want that iPhone because the functionality, I'm sick and tired of, I want to download an app and the apps aren't available for this device, or the thing that I'm filming with, I can't add the Greyhound app to, whatever. I got the Greyhound app on this. So, which I'm going to need to buy my Greyhound ticket for hopefully going to Washington, D.C. You guys have maybe heard that they're trying, I thought this was a done deal, but now I guess Trump is going to have to get Congress involved. But they want to transport Charlie Kirk's body to the Capitol Rotunda in Lion State, and everybody can show up from all over the world and pay their respects. And I have been packing, or at least organizing wardrobe for a trip to Washington, D.C. And the thing is, I can't afford to stay there any 3 weeks. I obviously have my mom to worry about and whatever. But I would definitely like to get a couple of days there. And the thing is, I want to plan for the kind of video content that I want to create. I want to bring at least one 3-piece suit. When I actually go to the viewing, I'm going to wear the suit and tie. I picked out a black tie. I don't have an absolute white button-down shirt, but I have an A-crew one. So I even have a church lady dress if there's something going on. I mean, I'm just thinking of all the things. I'm willing to take one for the team and put myself in some environments that aren't normally part of my ecosystem, but sometimes things are going on and people will go to different people's houses of worship because they want to pay respects and stuff. I'm going to be prepared for things like that, and if there's any Trump supporters gatherings of any kind. And also, I really want to do some networking. I know you guys have heard of, whoops, I don't know why this is, see, that's the thing, is that they make these charms making different things. I have no idea why they're going off. But anyway, I would really like to get on Right Side Broadcasting Network's radar. I would love to get some kind of affiliation with them, even though I wonder if they don't think I'm conservative enough, because I like to smoke weed on camera and I express other views that are decidedly not part of the Republican platform. Things like I'm pro-choice, and I know that that's like, oh, you're not supposed to say that, but I am. I'm just, I don't think you should decide at 8.5 months to go do it or something, but in cases of rape and incest especially, I'm sorry. The idea of forcing a woman who's already been brutalized to give birth to a child from that, no, that is disgusting, and I don't care. I don't care if I'm the last Republican to be arguing with other Republicans on that. I think it's wrong to force someone to give birth, when a lot of times the sex that we endure is not consensual. And if it's not consensual, why the hell do you have to go through all that? That's kind of bullshit. So, yeah. But I am really thinking a lot about hopefully going to Washington soon. And the thing is, I'm trying to whittle down my packing list because I don't pack light. And, but if there's going to be some events going on there, I want to be there. I probably can't film going in there or something, but maybe if I see other people taking discreet pictures or things, I'll do what I can. But it's really important for me to show you my Washington, D.C. I love Washington, D.C. I may end up moving there. I don't know. But it'll be interesting to see how it's been cleaned up now that Trump put the National Guard in. I want to see what the homeless people are doing and how far they were moved. I definitely want to talk about that and find out, where they are going to be, because if they're so far away from their services and things, and I don't mind seeing tents here and there, if anything, I'm thinking that looks like somebody that I might want to be friends with, whether they would feel the same, of course, that's kind of an arrogant thing for me to say, but I care about that community, and I think there's got to be a way for everybody to coexist. But, well, different things, define supporting women. Now, obviously, I could say, well, Planned Parenthood, that does a lot of great things for us. It gave me a lot of health care back in the day. But this whole thing now where they're providing sex change hormones to people and, not telling parents that little Johnny and Janie, who might not even be in puberty, is thinking they're the other gender, and then parents generally, I think, have a right to know what's going on in their kids' lives, with the caveat that if a parent is being abusive, then yes, the kid wants to keep secrets. Because if I'm being abused by dear old mom or dad, then yes, I'm going to come to a trusted adult, and I want to go to some place that will have my best interests at heart. But if it's a case where people are indoctrinating and giving ideas to impressionable young people, and I know for a fact I would have been swayed by certain things when I was confused by chauvinism and anti feminist things that I saw with certain younger and middle-aged men when I was a child. I certainly could see if a teacher took me aside and asked me if I wasn't really a boy. And even though I've never had any problems with my understanding of biology, kids will believe in any kind of bullshit you tell them. And my proof of this is, how is religion spread? You teach it to kids and they take everything as fact. And it doesn't matter whether you are a cultural cannibal, whether you're Christian, whether you're Muslim, whether you're Hindu, whether you are one of those more currently obscure faiths because it's been hundreds of thousands of years before it was an active thing. Still, people are so quick to call religions mythology because it's thousands and thousands and thousands of years old, when we forget that those were very real to the people of the time. So I think that just seems kind of dismissive, that they were very real to them, and yet we talk, oh, it's just a myth. What if we went back in time 5,000 years from now? What if it was a totally different thing, and what if they looked at Christianity as a myth? How would you guys who are believers in Christianity now feel about that? You wouldn't want your creed to be dismissed. I think we can all maybe be kinder when we're talking about other people. Yeah. But that said, when I lived in California, sometimes Planned Parenthood was my only health source. And when I was being abused by the first boyfriend, the one that ended up stealing my car, they had counselors there that, because I'd asked some medical questions about some weird things that I was being put through, they figured out that I was being abused, that there's a lot of non-consensual stuff going on. When you're in a relationship with somebody who's physically stronger than you, which usually when a man's with a woman, usually the man is bigger than the woman, and the man can coerce the woman. And a lot of times when men and women are together, it's not always consensual. And I'm not saying every man is like this, but enough of them are. And men don't realize that sometimes them being pushy and naggy can be coercion. And sometimes women will just put up with things just to not put up a fight, but meanwhile it's not consent. And anyway, and I've been witnessing so many crazy relationships among my street brothers and sisters, and it just makes me glad that I don't have to deal with the drama and the aggravation. It's hard enough dealing with family drama, and it's hard enough just being a caregiver and trying to be a good friend to people who need it, and strangers who are hungry. And there's always people who force you to have the perspective that, look, I know that my life isn't easy now. Life is probably not supposed to. But if I think I have it rough, what about my friends who have to worry about where the hell they're going to go and sleep, where somebody's not going to wake them up with a kick to the head or issue them a summons, a citation, promise to appear in court with a fine attached to it, which is so much the reality for so many people. They're giving out $150 sleeping in public tickets now. This city is ticketing people starting at $250, going up to $1,000 if they're caught smoking pot in public, even though the state of New Jersey legalized cannabis consumption for adults 21 and older, whether or not you had a medical card. So it's like it's legal or it's not. And it's bad enough they said, oh, no smoking of anything on the boardwalk or the beach, because we know that sand catches fire, right? And some of these rules are passed because, unfortunately, some people make it bad for everybody. There's a certain percentage of the homeless population that they do get drunk, and they throw their empty beer bottles, they litter, and they do things, even though they have friends like me that go and they pick up after them so that they don't have, the cops can. And the thing is, I'm not anti-cop, especially since pot has been legalized. I have much less reason to view police as adversarial. And since I don't own, you know what I mean, even though I was told in the chat room a couple days ago that it is a little bit easier for people to get carry permits in the state of New Jersey, but NRA still rates New Jersey as F. It's one of the worst states for self-defense here. And the thing is that cops, I have met cops through the years that claimed that they smoked weed. And when I went to the Wildwood Trump rally, I was smoking weed with cops from way north jurisdictions. And it was blowing my mind because I still, and I hate saying this, I still feel a little bit nervous talking to a lot of cops because I still feel, I mean, let's face it, they have authority over us. Authority that is, it's just the way it is. A cop could smack me in the mouth. Not saying that he would, but if he could, I couldn't smack him back. And it just seems so unfair. If a cop's dog bites my ass, I can't do anything to that dog because that dog is considered legally a cop. You know, you shoot a dog, a cop dog, that's, you're guilty of killing a police officer, and you can do serious time. It's an automatic felony, plus, you know, unlawful discharge of a firearm and all that stuff. I hope I don't get in trouble for even talking about this stuff. I should be able to, you know, First Amendment and all that. But yeah, when you're forced to put your head on a swivel, which now I already have been ever since that poor lady Irina, that refugee from Ukraine, got knifed to death on a local commuter train in Charlotte, North Carolina. Now I'm thinking different when I'm thinking about taking public transit. You have to look on over, see who's there. You know, I usually mind my own business and don't look at the people that get on public transit. Now you betcha I'm going to be looking. Oh, that's the thing. That's a castle doctrine. I made a video about this castle doctrine in Texas. And there was a situation where a man lived not too far from the border. And one of these illegals just broke into his front door and he's rummaging around his living room. And he, pew pew, and they try to say, oh, manslaughter, you killed a guy because his back wasn't turned, or it's worse if their back's turned or whatever. But hello, this is a guy who you did not invite into your home, came into your home, castle doctrine. Florida, I believe, has similar protections. Florida is looking better and better like a place that I could see moving to, but they need to legalize weed. I heard they have it legal for medical people, but I would like to live in a state that has good gun laws and legal pot, okay, and low taxes, and if I can find a place with no state sales tax, which now Delaware has no state sales tax. One good thing about here, New Jersey, is there's no sales tax on food, unless, of course, it's prepared food already. But if it's raw food that you cook at home, there's no sales tax on that, and there's no sales tax on clothing. Of course, if they try to say that it's a Halloween costume, then they use that as an excuse to get tax on that. But places like Oregon, there's no state sales tax. And the weed's really good. And I believe they have full legalization on the weed. But of course, if it's like New Jersey, you have to have ID, photo ID, to buy it to dispensaries. And I think that's ridiculous, because if I don't get carded to go into a liquor store to get liquor, even though I haven't had a drink in over 20 years, but say somebody who was always hassled by the security at let's say there's some little old man who's town drunk, and they won't let him in the liquor store, he could always say, hey, Leather, can you get me a bottle of Jack? I guarantee you, I go into any liquor store, no matter how duded up I am, they're not going to ask me for ID, because they're going to see my face and they're going to figure out she ain't as young as maybe she hopes that people think she is. We're not going to card her, because she's obviously over 21. But I can't go into a dispensary. I've never been in any dispensaries. It sucks. That's right. 1666 says it mostly takes time for states to close up any loopholes, because if they aren't making money off the weed, it will never happen. That's right. One thing that I wish President Biden had done and he didn't do is he didn't do anything about federal legalization. Now, I've read some talk that Trump is considering it. The thing with President Trump is he's a very practical man, but he also takes a dim view of drugs and alcohol. You know, he doesn't imbibe himself. He had a brother who had a problem with alcohol and who my father actually knew, by the way. My father used to sell Buddy Poppies on the boardwalk in front of one of Trump's other hotel casinos, the one that unfortunately was torn down. Trump had a casino called Trump Plaza, and my father used to sit and sell Buddy Poppies for the VFW in front of them. Meyer, hello. This is the good phone. Just waking up, hope that I'm doing well. Yeah, I just made food for my mom. I'm not gonna finish. I'm not gonna keep this too much longer because I would really like to eat my dinner or lunch or whatever it is. Oops. Take this. Here, this is my food I just made. Take a look here, see what's going on. Okay. I just stick my face in. Get Mom mad at me again. She's really gonna kick my ass. Hello. You ate your hamburger. Oh, and good. I have onions for mine now. Okay. Say hi.
Oh, hi.
Okay, I'm getting out of here. She's watching her cowboy movie or something. Oh, Gunsmoke. Okay. Did you say Gunsmoke turned 70?
70th anniversary.
My mother just told me that the TV Western series Gunsmoke turned 70. 70. Can you believe that Gunsmoke? Well, Gunsmoke reruns have been going on for as long as I can remember. Did I make food for the mice too? I probably did, because if I drop something on the floor, I set that aside for the mice. Matter of fact, since you mentioned that, let's see. Oh, damn fly. I hate flies. Fucking hate flies. Okay, let's see if I set aside anything. This is what it looks like when I don't have food in. Well, you won't eat the onions, because mice don't do onions. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's poisonous to them or they just don't like them. But I'm not going to bore you to death watching me eat. So I'm going to, maybe I'll film later today. Maybe I'll do a live later on today. But this is my food, and I'm going to log off so that I can eat. But I will talk to you guys later. Please have a good day. Be safe. Be careful in public. And in honor of Charlie Kirk, let's have a little bit more free speech, because that's what it's all about. We live in the freest country in the world. We should be able to speak our truth without having to worry about fending off violence just because we have different views. That's really not right. Take care. 1666 Meyer, burner account. Who else here? I still got to see the mice play thing. Thicky. Take care. I will talk to you guys later. Bye.